Did the James Webb Space Telescope find the edge of the universe? And God, the story of humanity is, in many ways, the story of looking up at the night sky and asking, what's really out there? For thousands of years, our ancestors stared at the stars and imagined God's spirits and divine beings living among them. For centuries, philosophers debated whether the universe was eternal or had a beginning. And for generations, astronomers built better and better instruments, each one peeling back another layer of cosmic mystery. And then, in December 2021, after decades of planning and billions of dollars, we launched the most ambitious space observatory humanity had ever built, the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST. It promised to be our golden eye in the heavens, capable of peering back to the earliest moments of the cosmos. And with that, a provocative question arose among scientists, believers, and dreamers alike. Could JWST reveal the very edge of the universe? Could it even show us something that points to the existence of God? In this video, we will dive deep into that question. We'll explore what JWST really is, what it is actually seen, what the edge of the universe even means, and why so many people connect these discoveries with spirituality, creation, and in the divine. By the end, you might not find a definitive answer, but you will see why this telescope has shaken both science and philosophy to their very core. Part 1. The Golden Eye in Space. The James Webb Space Telescope is often described as the successor to the legendary Hubble. And in many ways, it is. But JWST is not just a bigger Hubble, it's something fundamentally different. Where Hubble could peer into the visible and ultraviolet light, JWST was designed to specialize in the infrared. This might sound like a technical detail, but it's revolutionary. You see, the universe is expanding, and the farther away an object is, the more its light is redshifted, stretched into longer, redder wavelengths. By the time light from the earliest galaxies reaches us, it has traveled for more than 13 billion years, stretched into the infrared part of the spectrum. To see those galaxies, we needed an infrared eye, and that's exactly what JWST provides. With its massive 6.5-meter gold-coated mirror nearly 3 times larger than Hubble's, and state-of-the-art instruments, JWST can look further, deeper, and more clearly than any telescope before it. But even this power has limits. Part 2. What do we mean by the edge of the universe? Before we dive into what JWST has seen, let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions: the edge of the universe. When people hear this phrase, they often imagine some kind of boundary, a wall at the far end of space beyond which there's nothing. But the reality is stranger. The universe is not like a room with walls. Instead, it's a vast, expanding space-time continuum. And according to current cosmology, it may very well be infinite. So why do scientists talk about an edge? Because of the cosmic horizon. Light travels at a finite speed, and the universe is a finite age, about 13.8 billion years. That means we can only ever see as far as light has had time to travel since the Big Bang. That maximum distance forms a kind of bubble around us called the observable universe. Beyond that, there may be more galaxies, more stars, even infinite space, but their light hasn't reached us yet, and perhaps never will. So, when people say JWST is looking at the edge of the universe, what they really mean is that it's looking at the edge of the observable universe, the farthest light that can possibly reach us. And what it finds there is breathtaking. Part 3. JWST's first glimpses of cosmic dawn. Within weeks of becoming operational, JWST stunned the world with its images. The Carina Nebula, the Southern Ring Nebula, Stephan's Quintet, these were the showpieces NASA revealed to demonstrate its power. But the real treasure lay deeper. In faint smudges of red barely visible against the darkness, those smudges were ancient galaxies, seen as they were over 13 billion years ago, only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. Some of them were so massive and well-formed that astronomers were left scratching their heads. According to our models, galaxies shouldn't have had time to assemble that quickly. Stars shouldn't have formed so early, and yet they were there for the public. This triggered a wave of awe and speculation. If science didn't predict these galaxies, maybe there was something or someone guiding the process. Maybe JWST was not just showing us physics, but fingerprints of the divine. Part 4. Did JWST find God? Here's where science meets philosophy. Did JWST literally detect God? Of course not. Telescopes measure photons, not deities. The instruments record wavelengths, not miracles. But at the same time, the discoveries resonate with some of humanity's oldest spiritual questions. For millennia, religions have told stories of creation, that the universe came from nothing, that order emerged from chaos, that light shone into darkness. And now, here we are, literally watching light from the first dawn of time. It's no wonder people feel a sense of divine presence in these images. From a scientific perspective, these galaxies are not evidence of God, they ray evidence that our models of galaxy formation may need updating. Perhaps matter clumped together faster than we thought. Perhaps dark matter played a larger role. Perhaps our simulations missed something. That's the beauty of science. Every surprise forces us to refine our understanding. But from a human perspective, the beauty, the improbability, the sheer scale of it all can feel transcendent looking at JWST's images. Some people don't just see galaxies, they see meaning, they see purpose, they see God. Part 5. The mystery of beginnings. Let's step back for a moment. What is the deepest question JWST raises? It's not just what do the first galaxies look like, it's why is there something rather than nothing. Science tells us that the universe began 13.8 billion years ago in a hot, dense state we call the Big Bang. But what caused the Big Bang? Was there a before? Could there even be a before? If time itself began at that moment? These are not just scientific questions, they're philosophical, even theological. Some scientists suggest that the universe might be part of a multiverse, one of countless bubbles of reality. Others propose that the Big Bang may have been a bounce from a previous universe. But all of these raise the same ultimate mystery. Why is there a universe at all? Why is there something and not nothing? For religious traditions, the answer is straightforward. There's a creator. For science, the answer is we don't know. And that gap, that unknown, is precisely where faith often enters. Part 6. And wonder. Imagine standing under a dark night sky. Now, imagine that instead of stars, you could see back in time, back billions of years, to the first sparks of cosmic light. That's what JWST is doing. It's not just showing us distant places, it's showing us distant times. Every photon captured by its mirror is a message from the past, traveling across the void to reach us. When you realize that, you start to feel something almost spiritual. The universe is vast beyond comprehension, trillions of galaxies, each with billions of stars. Each star with the potential for planets, life, civilizations, and yet, somehow, our tiny species has built a golden telescope and flown at 1,000,000 miles into space to glimpse all of this. That sense of awe, whether you call it science or God, or both, is perhaps the real discovery of JWST. Part 7. Where science ends and philosophy begins. It's important to be clear. JWST will not prove or disprove God. Science doesn't work that way. What it will do is push the boundaries of our knowledge, showing us how galaxies form, how stars are born, how planets take shape. It will reveal the ingredients of alien atmospheres, maybe even signs of habitability. But as far as the deepest questions go, why is there something? Why is the universe intelligible? Why do we exist? Those remain open. Science may never answer them fully, and maybe that's the point. Maybe those are the questions that keep us searching, imagining, believing. Part 8. The legacy of JWST. So, has JWST found the edge of the universe? In a sense, yes, it has shown us the farthest light we can possibly see. But in another sense, no, the universe itself has no edge, no boundary. It may go on forever. And has JWST found God? No telescope can do that. But what it has found is perhaps the next best thing. It has found wonder, mystery, the reminder that the universe is far bigger and stranger than we thought. For some, that mystery is proof enough of the divine. For others, it's proof of the power of science. For most of us, it's both. Conclusion: the James Webb Space Telescope is not just a machine. It's a mirror held up to the cosmos and to ourselves. It reflects not only galaxies and stars, but our own longing to understand, to find meaning, to know if we're alone, to know if there's a purpose. In the end, JWST may not show us God, but it shows us why the question of God matters. It shows us why we look up at all. So I'll leave you with this thought. If we could see the very first light of creation, if we could stare into the moment when the universe itself was born, would we see physics, or would we see God? Or maybe, just maybe, we would see both. What do you think? Is JWST just another tool of science? Or has it brought us closer to touching the divine? Leave your thoughts below, because this conversation is one that humanity has been having for thousands of years, and thanks to JWST, it's far from over.